Hello and welcome back to Of Land and Leaf. Today I am back in the garden. I have two projects that I want to work on because I'm headed out of town again for a week, and there's two things that I want to do to help the garden just keep thriving while I'm away. So one of the things I like to do is work on my trellis, my cucumber trellis. I'll show you that. I want to get pole beans planted. And thirdly, I want to transplant my spinach. I've done a lot of research to figure out if that was a smart move or not, and I really have not found a definite answer. So I want to transplant the spinach. So we'll see how it goes. Either way, I learn. So here's the spinach. I showed you last time that the spinach is doing really well in these Dollar Tree domes. I'm gonna lift one up so you can see it. Get over right here. Right, it's looking really good, not really being messed with too much. This is a good sunny spot for it, but I want to move it. I want to move it over into the raised bed because I would like to put squash right here. I might be able to get the squash in without disturbing the spinach. All of this needs to go, but I'm trying to wait so that I can get seeds. And this is just taking a while to dry out. From what I understand, this will dry and I'll be able to get seeds from these pods, I believe. I was thinking that the seeds would come from these. I was thinking these were the seeds, but these are the flowers that open up. So I think these will dry out and give me collard green seeds. Someone who knows, I always say I welcome your advice. You can tell me, but I'm thinking that I'm waiting for this to dry out to get completely brown so that I can have seeds. And then I would like to put corn all in this space right here. So I'm gonna leave that while I'm gone and let that do its thing. The bees are absolutely loving it. The bees are all over these flowers. So this is an old grow bag. I don't even remember what I had in here last year. I think it was okra that didn't germinate. So I'm gonna build this up, and since this is right next to my cattle panel trellis, this is where I'm going to start the beans. And of course, in true novice gardener, community gardener fashion, I filled up the bag and forgot the beans. I left the beans at home, so I won't be able to plant them. I'll have to come back tomorrow and plant them, but at least the container is prepped. So let's move on to prepping my cucumber arch. Hey family, it's the next day and I am back at the community garden. As you'll see, there's only my car. I'm the only one here. It's about 5:40. The very next day, yesterday was just not productive. I got here, didn't have the beans that I wanted to plant, start working on my trellis, and then my daughter called and she needed me to do something for her. She's about 45 minutes away from me, so by the time I got to her, took her where she needed to go, helped her out, it was too late for me to come back out here. So I got a little over an hour, probably 2 hours of daylight left. I'm gonna try to get a little bit done and just wanted to bring you with me. So I mentioned yesterday that I'm headed out of town. I'm headed out of town on Sunday. I won't be back until next Sunday. And so I'm hesitant to do anything that, because I'm not going to be here like to baby seedlings that I'm putting out or anything like that. So what I want to get done today is I do want to go ahead and get my pole beans in the ground, because last year I waited too late. I think I planted them 4th of July or around the beginning of July, not understanding the ecology of the pole beetle, and they just decimated my garden. So I'm planting the beans in a different space and earlier, hoping that I will have more success. So I want to go ahead and give them as early of a head start as I can. I bought this little box from Dollar Tree on the way here because I really want to start organizing my tote, my garden tub that I have out here. So I brought this out just to put my hand tools in. I'm also really considering transplanting at least 2 of these spinach plants over into my raised bed. I'm not sure yet because I think I have plenty of room to get 2 summer squash plants right in here, which is where they will go, and still have the bulk of this for my corn. But I'm really considering transplanting 2 of them today. We'll see. These are the beans that I am planting in my container and that will trellis on my cattle panel arch, and they take about 62 days to harvest, which if I start now, we're almost in May, last week of April. If I start now, I have May and June. I think I can beat the pole beetles. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those in. Okay, so what I'm mixing into this organic potting soil is perlite and some biotone vegetable food. And I just kind of mix that in, because in addition to the pole beans that are going in here, I'm gonna put those spoon tomatoes. Do you remember I showed you on a previous video? That was my free seed. Hold on, I'll get it. That was my free seed. This one. So I'm gonna put 1 of those in there with the beans. I don't even know if you can see these. These are tiny. Can you see them? I have 3 in my hand, and I'm going to go ahead and plant all 3. I got a question about the arch that I'm using for my cucumber. Something just fell over. Gotta fix that. So I got a question about the arch that I'm using on my cucumber, and it's not actually an arch. Like, it wasn't purchased that way. I just find that things that are marketed for gardening are always more expensive than they have to be. So I like to use alternate materials. So this is actually a ladder mesh, and I'll put the name of the YouTuber that put me on to ladder meshes. I can't remember her name. She's in the desert in Arizona somewhere. She's the first person who put me on to ladder meshes. I want to show you what they look like if I can. I'm going to turn this around. This is what they look like in the store. They're 10 foot long. These are actually used in construction. They are used in brick lane, cement lane, and building walls. I think they help to sturdy the walls. Anyway, they're like $5 a piece at Home Depot. So I got 2 of them. Let's take you back over here. I got 2 of them, and I used zip ties to connect them, and then put them in these grow bags. Then I realized that as the cucumbers grow, this space is too far apart probably for them to grow. I mean, they may grow up here, but I'm just not sure. So what I did was I went back in with twine, and I'm going to finish that today, just to provide a little more area for them to grab onto and continue to climb. And so I did most of this before my daughter called yesterday, but I still need to just finish this bottom part. Now I have straight 8 cucumbers, which should, if they grow well, be rather large cucumbers. I may need to go back in here and put a stake or something to give this a little bit more support, but I've seen them in action and they do pretty well. So I'm gonna work on this next. You also may be looking at my greenhouse. There have been a couple of additions since I've last made a video. I bought this shelving unit for my deck at home at the townhouse to start seeds. It didn't do well. I got the deck. I tried to use this DIY hack where I used some Dollar Tree shower liners. It just did not stay on when it rained or when it started to get hot. And so I decided I would bring it out here. Now it is 5 shelves, the kit that I purchased, but I'm just using these 2 and they fit great in this greenhouse. I'm not gonna have the greenhouse out very long because I've received some feedback that this plastic doesn't do well in the Georgia heat. So I'll be direct sowing soon. I want to see if I can get this seed tray going. And I have my sweet potatoes. You can't really see, but I have sweet potatoes under there that I'm trying to get some slips, and some other tomatoes back there. But I'm just using this to house some things temporarily. I bought this little digital thermometer. It worked fine at home, but it doesn't work that great out here because it connects to my Bluetooth. It is not 107 degrees in here, so I'm not sure, that's just there right now. But yeah, I wanted to show you. It looks really nice for me for a $20 greenhouse. And the shelves, I think I got them for $30 at Target, and then I just, split them up. I would put one here and one here. I will do that when I'm actually going to use this for a certain period of time, a longer period of time. But this is going to come down probably at the end of next month. So I'm not gonna lie, tying all of this takes a little bit of time. And like I told one of my neighbors that was walking by, he asked me if I was knitting. Said, I'm not a Girl Scout, so Me and knots don't always get along. But this is basically what I did. Just made a little design to give the cucumber something to climb on. And because I want it to look nice, I'm gonna go in now and just cut these threads a bit and cut the zip ties so that it looks a little bit neater. But then I'm done. And they won't actually need to use this for, you know, some time. They haven't even germinated yet, haven't even sprouted yet. But I just want to get everything together. The other thing that I brought out today was my compost. So I have just started composting this year. This is my first year composting. I just save my scraps, put them in the freezer, and then bring them out here and put them in my compost tumbler, which is here. I don't know. I'm sure that there is a correct way to do this, but that's just what I'm doing. And I'm not necessarily waiting for it to fully break down to use it. I'm not going to use it right now, but I plan to start using this in the fall. So the way this works is you just open her up. Lots of fun stuff already in there. Drop in your papers, and your wet, your veggies and fruit scraps. Pretty yucky. When I can, I save the bag and reuse it. I'm frugal like that, but this one is torn, so I'll go ahead and throw that one away. But that's it. I'll go in there and we'll just let it tumble, let it sit out here in this heat, and make me some good soil. Definitely wrapping up. The last thing I want to do before I leave for today is, what is the last thing I want to do? Oh, I want to water. I need to water really, really good. So I'm going to water, and then I'll be able to head on out for the day.
You want the green one?
Yes. I couldn't figure out how to get this to work, and then I realized that the handle was off. So yes, I'm done with that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm headed out for the evening, but I have to show you what I found as I was watering today. I'm so excited. Let me show you. Here is that old, sad-looking blackberry clipping that someone gave me a couple videos ago, remember? But look what I see. I see green, and that means there's hope. That little spot of green just gives me so much hope for this entire clipping. So I'm leaving everything as is, headed out of town, and we'll check and see what she does, because this one looked really bad too for a while, and look how pretty she looks. So here's hope. As I leave the garden, I'm praying that she'll survive without me for the week. Happy gardening.